Your car hasn't even turned the corner, yet somehow your dog is already at the door, tail wagging, waiting. How? Is it telepathy? A sixth sense? Or is there real science behind dogs knowing when you're home? What you're about to learn will change how you see your dog forever. Throughout history, the bond between humans and dogs has been nothing short of extraordinary. For thousands of years, dogs have been our loyal companions, our protectors, and our confidants. One of the most fascinating displays of this connection is the uncanny ability dogs seem to possess, knowing exactly when their human family members are about to arrive home. Stories abound of dogs waiting by the door just before their owner's footsteps echo down the hall, or perking up moments before a car turns into the driveway. But is this some sort of canine telepathy? Are dogs truly psychic? Or is there a more down-to-earth explanation, rooted in science and the remarkable senses of our four-legged friends? To unravel this enduring mystery, let's start by exploring the incredible sensory world in which dogs live. A world vastly different from our own. Dogs are equipped with senses that far surpass those of humans in certain domains, particularly sight, hearing, and smell. Their nostrils, for example, can differentiate odors at concentrations nearly 100 million times lower than what we can detect. This heightened sense of smell isn't just about identifying food or tracking prey. It also allows dogs to read a complex landscape of scent cues left behind by living beings, including us. But how might this relate to the knowledge of your imminent return home? Let's consider the daily routine. Every person has their own unique scent, a result of genetics, diet, health, and the products they use. When you leave home, you leave behind traces of this scent on the door, the floor, the air, and especially on your personal belongings. As time passes, the strength of your scent fades. Through countless repetitions, your dog becomes attuned to these subtle changes, learning to associate the fading scent cue with the passage of time, essentially your absence. Over time, your dog can begin to anticipate, based on the diminishing presence of your scent, approximately when you should come back, especially if your routine is regular. But the sensory toolbox of dogs doesn't stop at the nose. Their hearing is equally extraordinary. While we perceive sound best in the range of 2,000 to 4,000 Hz, dogs can hear frequencies as high as 65,000 Hz. This means they can detect the high-pitched hum of electronics, the jingling of your keys from down the hall, or even the distinctive rumble of your car engine from blocks away. Many pet owners have noticed their dog reacting before a vehicle pulls into the drive, ears perked, tail wagging, heading straight for the door, even though nothing seems amiss to us. The explanation may be as simple as this. Your dog recognizes the precise combination of sounds unique to your arrival and responds immediately, often well before you even set foot in the house. Research has chased this empathetic connection for decades, trying to peel back the layers of anecdote and get to the heart of what's really going on. One of the most cited investigations is the famous case detailed in the book Dogs That Know When Their Owners Are Coming Home by scientist Rupert Sheldrake. In a series of experiments, Sheldrake observed a dog named JT, who was reported to go to the window approximately 10 minutes before his owner's unexpected and unscheduled returns. Cameras and impartial observers attempted to rule out cues and outside influences, suggesting that JT's responses weren't strictly the result of routine or habit. While Sheldrake's work remains controversial and debated within the scientific community, it opened the door to further investigation. Subsequent studies have sought to refine our understanding, searching for explanations rooted in science rather than the paranormal. For example, researchers have noted that dogs are excellent timekeepers, but unlike us, they don't rely on clocks. Instead, dogs sense the passage of time through the daily rhythms of their environment. Everything from the pattern of sunlight moving across the floor, to changes in temperature, to household sounds like the whirring of appliances switching on or off. These environmental cues, together with their keen senses, allow dogs to form expectations about daily events. Routine, after all, is a cornerstone of animal behavior. Our lives tend to follow predictable patterns. We leave for work at about the same time, use the same doors, and return home with a certain regularity. Over weeks and months, dogs pick up on patterns in our behavior, supported by their acute internal clocks, set by the regularity of household events and their unique way of measuring time. For example, the sound of the neighbor's car signaling the school run might coincide with the owner's return each afternoon. Dogs quickly link these environmental triggers to the expectation of seeing their beloved human walk through the door. Another fascinating layer to this mystery involves what scientists call associative learning. Over time, dogs form strong associations between specific cues and events. If you always slam your car door or turn off the engine at a particular spot in the driveway, your dog will learn to recognize and anticipate those exact sounds. In some cases, neighbors' routines, local traffic patterns, or even the distant sound of your office keycard beep can become associated with your return in your dog's mind. But what about the exceptions? Many dog owners swear their pets seem to know when they are about to come home, even when the schedule is completely different, when flights are delayed, work runs late, or plans change at the last minute. Skeptics argue that confirmation bias might be at play here. We tend to remember and retell the more remarkable instances when our dogs guess right, but we overlook the countless times they waited by the door, only for us to not appear. Additionally, dogs love spending time near entrances as a way of keeping tabs on the household territory. They might check the door periodically, and if this coincides with your return, it's tempting to read more meaning into the coincidence than is warranted. Still, the evidence for remarkable canine perceptiveness is hard to dismiss. In fact, the better we understand the science behind the dog's nose and ear, the more impressive their abilities become. For instance, researchers have determined that dogs can distinguish between the scents of up to 100 different people, even in a crowded space. They can also detect subtle hormonal changes in people, such as stress or excitement, which may produce different scents or pheromones. In theory, your dog might notice your rising anticipation as you wrap up your workday, even if you're still miles away, because someone in the house prepares for your arrival, or even just because of the pattern of activities that herald your return. Technology, too, has offered new windows into understanding dog behavior. Video cameras placed in homes have documented the subtle habits dogs engage in throughout the day. Instead of loafing lazily in one spot until their owners come home, most dogs actually rotate between naps, play, patrols, and long gazes out the window. As the time of their owner's return approaches, many dogs begin to increase their visits to the door or window, suggesting an anticipation built on both routine and cue recognition. A critical factor in this dynamic is the deep emotional connection dogs share with their families. Dogs are intensely social animals, having evolved alongside humans for tens of thousands of years. Their survival once depended, and to some extent still depends, on being able to read human cues, subtle changes in mood, body language, and vocal tone. This unique cross-species empathy is unparalleled in the animal kingdom. Over generations, dogs have become hardwired to be attuned to the behavior and well-being of their human companions. This bond might not grant them psychic powers, but it does make them exceptionally sensitive to everything that might hint at their person's return. Taking all this into account, what does the evidence really tell us? Are dogs psychic or just supremely observant? The truth appears to be a fascinating blend of biology, experience, and emotion. Their acute hearing lets them detect the tiniest familiar cues. Their astonishing sense of smell lets them read the invisible signatures we leave behind and the changes that occur in our absence. Their awareness of routine and their capacity for associative learning help them track daily patterns. and their emotional attunement to us primes them for recognizing every subtle sign that something is about to happen. Ultimately, while science may not support the idea that dogs can literally read your mind or know your every movement from afar, their talents verge on the miraculous when viewed through the lens of human experience. Each time your dog rushes to the door moments before you arrive home, it is a testament to not only the marvels of evolution and biology, but also to the powerful, enduring bond you share. So, the next time you hear the gentle click of nails on the floor or spot a familiar nose pressed up against the window just as you arrive, take a moment to appreciate what's really happening. Your dog's ability to anticipate your return is not the result of simple guesswork or luck, and it's not just a quirk of routine, though routine certainly plays a part. Instead, it is the culmination of ancient instincts, modern learning, and the simple, profound joy your dog feels at having you near. This remarkable behavior serves as a daily reminder. Within your own home, there's a living testament to the power and wonder of animal perception. Whether it's the dog who sits steadfastly beside the door at 5 o'clock sharp, or the pup who whines softly just as your bus rounds the corner, what you're witnessing is the artful interplay of nature and nurture, woven into the fabric of life with a dog. At the heart of it all, perhaps, is love, a force powerful enough to bridge the gaps of language, species, and even, it seems, time itself. Dogs may not possess a sixth sense in the mystical sense, but what they lack in mysticism, they make up for in devotion, loyalty, and a wisdom that is both ancient and profound. In a world filled with uncertainties, one thing remains constant: the eager wag of a tail, the excited dance at the door, the joyful reunion after even the briefest absence. Thanks to a blend of sensory superpowers, the wisdom of routine, and the profound capacity for connection, your dog does know you're coming home and is ready and waiting, heart brimming with anticipation to welcome you back.